Market conditions shifting to mildly bullish in this bull market. Still have a bull market rank of 26.96, approaching that 27 number. Pretty aggressive move in this overall uptrend, having a bit of retracement here the last couple of days in tech and S&P 500. We're seeing momentum still in that buy zone. We're also seeing the breadth, which is nicely in the buy zone. That's really been the biggest story of the last week, is the participation of the small and mid cap names. Also seeing sentiment still towards the upper end of that range. You can kind of see it curling down just a little bit right here, but still no real extreme fear. Any of these moves that we've seen haven't really triggered that. We are seeing buy sell ratio really bullish right here, having lots of breadth coming back into the market right here and spiking that buy sell ratio back up into that 6 number, which we haven't seen that number. If I go back 3 years, you can see a pretty sharp move right here. So interesting breadth participation right here. If we take a look at the indices, we'll actually look at NASDAQ first right here. You can see NASDAQ and tech stocks just really fell off the table here yesterday and really getting some retracement on heavy volume. We also saw the S&P 500 pull back, not quite as much as the NASDAQ, but still having a retracement, coming back in now right around that 557 range, 555 range, another 551 support area on S&P 500 if we get back into that area. Still in the buy zone, but you're seeing a short-term downtrend here on S&P 500. We actually saw Russell 2000 continuing to look really good, and Dow actually improving here as well. So we're seeing some shifting over into some different names, some small caps and some Dow stocks, mostly just moving out of those really big heavy hitter tech stocks that we've seen really working for the last year and a half. We're also seeing bonds continuing to improve here. TLT, the long-term bond, continuing to move its way towards that upper range. This is still a downtrend on that 6-month time frame, with that Fibonacci level connecting this direction instead of this direction. And so we could be starting to, if we clear up above this 618 area, that also could start to work to shift the trend back to a bullish trend for bonds, which is going to help in terms of interest rates coming back down. And that has been one of the issues for quite some time. We're also seeing SHY moving nicely back up into that trend zone and above that $81 range. The sectors, we're seeing some strength. You can see this move here in technology really is the only one that really got beat up in terms of percentage moves on that day. We saw down 3%, and transportation average also got hit by 2%. But other than that, we actually saw consumer goods starting to move up again, that 1% range. If we take a look at this, see really nice move back up on consumer goods. So definitely some shifting taking place from tech back to consumer goods and to some small cap names as well. We're seeing commodities continue to work. Gold, which is in the upper end of that range and breaking out of those all-time highs. Really impressive pattern on gold. Oil also showing some strength yesterday, a 2% move, holding in that 236, that upper support range, that upper momentum zone, and building some momentum off of a little counter trend, little 3-part counter trend support area, and finding some support in this range and working its way back to this upside. So we'll see if we can get another follow-through day on USO today, and then also silver, which has had some volatility yesterday, pullback, and we'll see if we find some support here in SLV. Muscle Stocks Group, we're seeing a handful of interesting names here, seeing CLBT, which has a good solid confirmation bar, increasing volume, and breakout pattern of its most recent highs. And also seeing some bank names in here. You're seeing some other oil names like ConocoPhillips, Wells Fargo, one of the bank names in here as well. Banks have been doing quite well. If you look at the Muscle ETFs group, you're seeing regional banks, this bullish 3x direction for regional banks looking quite impressive. Really strong rally the last 4 or 5 days straight in the air, and could be something there in terms of bonds and interest rates for banks as well. That'll do it for today's update. Everyone have a fantastic day today.